I remember listening to some of my dad's music on his MP3 player, and I was listening to some of the greats. Artists like Dr. Dre, Outkast, Nirvana, Green Day, and the Beastie Boys, to just name a few. Within the first 10 seconds of a song, you could immediately tell who wrote that, because his music was just so much more creative and diverse. I hope this speech can maybe open your mind or rekindle your desire to want to listen to some older music. I play bass guitar, and it disappoints me when artists choose to use digital instruments rather than physical. I think that music has a different feel when a live instrument is played on it. Older music is better than modern music because all modern music sounds the same. Modern music uses digital instruments, and older music actually makes up more streams than modern day music. Go to the top songs of today. They all sound the same. They have the same hook, the same melody. If you listen to music from the 1980s to 2000s, there was just so much more variety. In an article that discusses older music, Nicole Preeb said, "New, modern music all has the same sort of beat, tempo, style, etc. What makes old music so unique is how original each song is. A lot of modern songs sound the same, probably because the same style is taken by another artist. Old music has a style that fits the personality and individuality of an artist." In today's music world, there is no innovation. Every new artist just copies the same formula that the artist before them laid out. They just follow what worked before, and they don't try to put a spin on it. Before, artists would take a genre and they put their own personal spin on it, but now they don't. The music before was just much more diverse. Within the first couple seconds of a song, you can tell exactly who wrote it. Whereas today, that same song can be written by 1,000 different artists and you'd never know. Older music also felt much more real. They used physical instruments rather than digital instruments. Those digital instruments remove that human touch in the music. Some of the best older music have small details, small errors that make the songs more iconic. One famous example of this is in the song "Roxanne" by The Police. Within the first couple seconds of the song, the lead singer Sting can be heard laughing after playing a strange chord. It was later revealed that the chord he played was from him accidentally sitting down on the piano, and his laugh heard was his genuine reaction to that. The band decided to keep it in, and that made the song way more iconic after hearing that. Another example of this is in the song "Creep" by Radiohead. The guitarist Jonny Greenwood would play these super distorted dead notes because he didn't like the overall tone of the band being quiet. When the rest of the band heard this, they decided to keep it in. Something like this would be lost in today's music because there would be no room for experimentation. They just follow a certain formula and they don't never try to break away from it. So they would end up losing that piece. And I know it's mine and many others' favorite parts of that song. There is still new music being released today. However, if you look at what people are actually listening to, it's not modern music. In an article by The Atlantic that talks about older music versus modern music, they had this to say. The 200 most popular new tracks now regularly account for less than 5% of total streams. That rate was twice as high just 3 years ago. The mix of songs actually purchased by consumers is even more tilted downwards towards older music. The current list of most downloaded tracks in iTunes is filled with the names of bands from the previous century, such as Creedence Clearwater Revival and The Police. The company looked at what people are listening to today, and it turns out people are listening to older music. New music makes up about 5% of total streams, and those numbers were way higher 3 years ago. Also, less and less people are buying modern music on iTunes. That's because people are actually listening and buying newer music back in the day, whereas today they aren't. However, there are some people that claim that modern music is better than older music. Judging by the fact that today's music makes up less than 5% of total streams, that means this opinion is not held by many. Now, I'm not saying that all modern music is bad. There are still some good few bands and artists out there. I personally like some modern day bands like Coin, Willis, and Area 21. These specific artists all have one very specific thing going for them, like one quality that's going for them that makes them stand out amongst other artists. Area 21, for example, happens to be a virtual band, so they create animated videos to go along with their music. If anyone actually listens to the top older songs versus the top newer songs, however, they can definitely tell that most older songs sound better. It takes more work. They're more creative compared to the vast majority of modern day music. From the recycled hooks and melodies to digital instruments to the stream percentages, it shows that music of the past is far more superior than music of today. Older music has a sense of human touch, where modern music doesn't. They sound way more robotic on the tracks. The sound of a band playing their instruments live for their track really affects the way it sounds to listeners. Most people choose to listen to older music because it requires way more talent to create, and you can hear that in the final product. I want you to go out and listen to some of the top older music, and then some of the top songs of today. And after listening to the top older songs, you might not want to switch back because you can tell the amount of work that was put in for those songs versus today, where you can't really tell them apart.